Okay, so when you think of Final Fantasy VII, what comes to mind? Giant swords, spiky hair, epic magic, and you're not wrong. But what if I told you that underneath all of that, it's actually one of the most profound stories ever told in a game about finding your true self? In this explainer, we're going to peel back those layers and really dive into the deep philosophical journey of its hero, Cloud Strife. Just let that sink in for a minute. A man who begins as a lie and must suffer to become real. Wow, that right there, that's the whole ball game. It's a story all about identity, about truth, and about the, incredibly painful process of becoming who you're really meant to be. So let's get into it.
All right, first up, the manufactured hero. This is all about the mask, the persona that Cloud first presents to the world and to himself.
So when we first meet Cloud, he is the absolute epitome of cool, right? He's got that impossibly big sword, that whole I don't care attitude, and he claims he's a former member of the elite soldier program. The thing is, it's all a lie, a complete fabrication.
And this gets us to the core idea we really need to understand here, the constructed self. Think of Cloud's personality as a fortress. It's an identity he built brick by brick out of trauma, out of shame, and even with memories he, borrowed. And why? To protect himself from some really, really painful truths about his past. He's not living as who he is, he's performing who he desperately wishes he was.
Okay, on to our next section, cracks in the facade. Because, a lie that big, it can't hold up forever. And we start to see these little inconsistencies, these moments where what he does just doesn't match up with what he says.
So he's working with the eco-terrorist group Avalanche, right? And he's constantly saying things like, I'm just here for the money, don't get attached. But then, what does he actually do? He instinctively throws himself in front of his friends to protect them. He starts to form these really deep bonds. He talks a big game about being indifferent, but his actions are screaming that he's starting to care. A lot.
And this is where the story kind of turns and asks you a question. What really defines us? Is it the story we tell people about who we are? Or is it what we actually do? For Cloud, his actions are like a trail of breadcrumbs, leading back to the real person buried underneath that whole tough guy exterior.
And just when things are getting complicated, Sephiroth arrives. Now, it's so easy to just write him off as the villain, the big bad, but he is so much more than that. He's the philosophical antithesis to Cloud. He's like a dark, distorted mirror, reflecting all of Cloud's own fragmentation and uncertainty back at him, but in this truly terrifying way.
I mean, the contrast between them is just night and day. Cloud is completely lost, riddled with uncertainty about who he is. Sephiroth, on the other hand, has found this horrifying, absolute certainty in his own dark purpose. Cloud believes in choice. Sephiroth fully embraces destiny. Sephiroth's identity is this unshakable, absolute thing, while Cloud's is just a pile of broken pieces.
This brings us to Section 3, Shattered in the Lifestream. This is where it all comes crashing down. The conflict with Sephiroth pushes Cloud right to his breaking point, and the whole facade just shatters.
You can almost feel the pressure building, can't you? His memories start to glitch and conflict with each other. The line between illusion and truth just completely blurs. His mind can't take it anymore, and it all culminates in him falling into the planet's life stream, which is literally a river of consciousness and memories. And down there is absolutely nowhere left to hide from the truth.
And here it is, the devastating reveal. The entire foundation of his identity, the one thing he was clinging to so tightly, was a complete lie. He was never an elite warrior in Soldier, ever.
The reality is actually even more heartbreaking. That cool persona, his heroic memories, his fighting style, they weren't his. He had subconsciously borrowed them from his friend and his idol, Zack Fair, the actual soldier first class he admired and felt like he failed. He literally built his identity out of the ghost of another man.
Look, this is so much more than just a shocking plot twist. It's a profound existential crisis. For Cloud to become real, he has to let go of the lie that was protecting him. And that means he has to face all of the raw, painful feelings of shame, grief, and his own inadequacy head on. It's brutal.
And that brings us to our final section, finding the real Cloud. Because after everything shatters, you have a choice. You can stay broken, or you can start the hard work of rebuilding. This is where he starts picking up the pieces.
And he doesn't do it alone. His friend Tifa is absolutely crucial here, helping him piece his true memories back together. And this process isn't about reclaiming the old lie. No way. It's something entirely new. First, confront the truth. Then, accept your weakness. It's okay not to be the perfect hero. Third, embrace your actual past. And finally, the most important step of all, choose to move forward.
And this is the fundamental shift in his character. You see, he's no longer performing the role of a hero. He is simply choosing to be himself, flaws and all. His identity stops being a performance and becomes an authentic, conscious choice.
And right when he's finally getting a handle on who he is, the story throws another profound challenge his way: the death of Aerith. This sudden, irreversible loss forces him, and us, the players, to confront grief and mortality head-on. And it poses this powerful question: does the fact that life is temporary make it meaningless, or does it make it infinitely more precious?
This all comes to a head in the final battle. And it's not just good versus evil, it's a philosophical showdown. It's Cloud, who now embraces uncertainty and the freedom to choose his own meaning, against Sephiroth, who clings to an absolute destructive destiny. It's a battle of choice versus fate.
In the end, Cloud doesn't become that perfect, untouchable hero he was pretending to be. He achieves something much, much harder and way more meaningful. He becomes real. And his journey teaches us that a true identity isn't something you just find. It's something you have to forge, through pain, through your connections with others, and through conscious choice.
And so we're left with this question. Cloud's journey is an epic fantasy, sure, but his struggle is deeply, deeply human. It asks us to think about the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. And what would we do if those stories came crashing down? Would you let the truth destroy you, or would you use it as the foundation to build something real?